Hello? Hello, I think. Okay, cool. Welcome everybody. Hello, everyone. It's me, thomasjujube, and, we're gonna be talking about monthly scans because that is a thing I like to do every month. I don't know. It's been a while. It feels like it's been a very long time, even though it really hasn't been that long since we did the live stream. Because we did the Revice live stream. I think it was even. I think it was. Actually, it might have been in July, so technically I didn't live stream in September. I have no idea. But let's in the description as usual, links to Twitter links or links to Twitter threads of all the images I'm going to talk about. Today is not just about Revice, unlike last time. We're going back and talking about Zenkaiger and Magine, and a little bit about Ultraman Trigger, but also, of course, about Kamen Rider Revice, since that's coming up. Actually, also a bit about Kamen Rider Saber, because, the show just ended, but we got a bit of news about what's coming after the show that I didn't get to talk about anywhere. And then... I think that's it. Oh yeah, and then one other thing. So my Kamen Rider Saber review, my big season review on Saber is out. So if you haven't seen that yet, but you've watched Kamen Rider Saber, I think you should go watch that review. I mean, you don't have to, but I think it would be really cool. I would really appreciate it if you did go and watch that review. But of course, if you don't want to watch the review, you don't have to watch the review. It would just hurt my feelings. And then before that, too, you could watch the video I did with my brother who watched Kamen Rider Saber with me. And then next week is going to be my Revice Episode 1 review, because Episode 1 of Revice is coming out soon. And then, what day is it? It's Wednesday, right? Yeah, okay. And then... after next week is going to be my my writer potential video on Saber. So if you want to see hear my thoughts on Revice as soon as that episode comes out, or not as soon as it gets subbed, and if you want to see my writer potential ideas before that video goes public, you can become a patron, not a patron, a patron, with the link in the description to my Patreon. Just $2, you get the extended audio as soon as I'm done recording it. You get the full video as soon as it's done rendering, and you also get access to the last few months of extended audio if you want that. There's a few patron exclusive things as well. So that's it. Now let's talk about, I'm going to start with Revice, just because I like going in the superhero time order of Rider Sentai, but I'm actually going to go Revice, Trigger, and then Sentai, and then Zenkaiger, because most of you don't watch Ultraman, I think. I mean, I'm not going to deny that. Like, I probably have a bigger not Ultraman audience that I do have a bigger Ultraman audience, but I still want to talk like very briefly about Ultraman. Also, oh, my phone went off. Let me just turn that off. There you go. Oh yeah, I need to tweet out that I'm streaming. Give me like 2 seconds, everyone. Okay. Actually, speaking of Ultraman, my Ultraman Orb video, people really have been liking that. So, I just lost my train of thought. $100 super chat from Cure that says, "Hey Thomas, hope you and the people in the Discord are doing okay. Miss you all." Wow, that is amazing. I have no words. That's so cool. Thank you so much for that. Wow. I'm literally speechless. I don't know how I'm supposed to respond to that. That's a lot of money. That's amazing. Thank you so much for that. Wow. Um, wow. Okay. So, I guess Revice, Revice. So, uh, in case you missed my Revice live stream from the last month. No, we already discussed it was July. Uh, Revice is okay. Right? No, I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm gonna watch the show. I'm gonna do the episode 1 review. But, uh, oh yeah, everyone's saying EY. We should get an EY in the chat for Cure for the very, very generous donation. That means a lot. Or like a round of applause. I don't know, something. A celebration, because it's very cool. Revice is also kind of cool. So, I have a lot of thoughts on Revice so far before the show even comes out. It's, like, I like the ideas, some of the ideas we're doing here. Like the show being called Revice, but none of the characters are named Revice. They're just Revi and Vice. They're both Revice. And like the 2-in-1 Kamen Rider thing is really cool. I mean that's kind of the same thing, but like something about I don't know. I mean, it's nothing inherently wrong with the season. It's just kind of I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of me being weird. Because I really liked Saber, so I'm kind of like sad Saber's over, and I'm looking forward to the show, but I'm like I kind of miss the other one, even though the other one's over for now finally. So like it is really like. So let's actually move on to the new stuff that we got. So okay, yeah. So we basically got looks at like the main 4 forms and the base form for Revice. So in the middle here, I think you can see my mouse again. So I'm going to use my mouse to point to things. Here we got the base forms, Rex, Genome, and then last month we got to see we got a very clear look at the Megalodon genome stuff. Oh yeah, I forgot that we looked at the trailers and Toei claimed, actually I don't think it was Toei, I think it was Bandai. Actually it was both it was both of them. Toei claimed the trailer that I just played, even though that had no audio and it was like edited, and then Bandai claimed the toy trailer commercial that is the same thing. There was no audio and like the visuals were edited. So the video's still up. I just had to what did I have to do? I just sent in like a thing. I'm like, can you guys give me my video back? And then they gave me the video back. So the video's still up. You can go watch it. I'm not making any money off of it, but that's fine. At least everyone can watch the video. So hopefully this one they don't copyright claim, because I'm not looking at any videos. So, so anyway, we got to see the Megalodon genome last time, and then we got a quick look at the Eagle genome, but it was like one picture. Now we actually get to look at it, and then after the live stream, we got to see, or not like right after that like live stream, but like a little bit later, we got our looks at the mastodon genome. I think it's a mastodon and not an elephant. And then from the mastodon, we got to see, I think this is brand new. It's kind of brand new, because the bike we've seen. We had a whole thing about the bike. But the form that goes with the bike, which is interesting, is new. And I mean interesting that there's a form to go with the bike of the Kamen Rider. I don't really... this is the first time I never really thought about this, but we don't really get a form with the bike, right? Like, Geo barely used his bike, but he didn't get a new form with it. 01 didn't get a form with his bike. Saber didn't get a form with his bike, even though he could have, because he used it like... same with Geo, actually, because they were both the gimmicks, and they could have used it. I guess the last time we've had a form with the bike is Xade, because Laser was a Kamen Rider. So, well, no, not because he was a Kamen Rider, because he actually used Baxo Bike Proto to what? To make the level 0's cool form thing. So, yeah, I guess Xade's a pioneer in merging with the bikes. I mean, Drive merged with his car, but but bike form. The bike form looks cool. So, oh, people are asking, or correcting me. It's Mammoth. I have that's the Power Rangers fan curse. It's Mastodon to me. Oops, don't hit the microphone. Yeah, I just said Mastodon. If it looks like elephant, but it's not elephant, my brain just went to Mastodon because Mastodon. I don't even like MMPR that much. I don't. It's Hasbro's fault because all they do is release MMPR toys, and Mastodon is just in my head as a tusked elephant thing. So, but it's a mammoth. Thank you, mammoth. So, oh yeah, Build had a Same bike, which was based off his bike thing. So I guess Build was the last time we had the rider merge with the bike. But I mean, yeah, I won't deny that. But like Revice has the form when he rides the bike, and neither Xade or Build got that form when they rode their bike. It was more like they got a form and it looked like their bike. So, so here's the mammoth genome, all right up in your face, and I think this is my favorite one. I'm not sure. I just had a picture that had all of them on the screen, and I didn't really think about it. I mean, if you saw my base form ranking video, I really like the Deno suit. So the fact this is just more or less the Deno suit is cool. I like that for Revi at least. And then I like the different stylization of the Deno suit. Like the body looks just like, I think, is there another picture? No, that's just a lot of toys. The body is still the body looks exactly like sword form, just in different colors, which is fine. But I like the helmet, how they've made it so that the eyes look like Deno's eyes, but they've kind of modified it, because Deno's eyes had like this little bit, like at the end of the eyes, it kind of extended out, and then there was more red, and this doesn't have that. It's more like new Deno than like Deno, but the eye shape is more like Deno, if that makes sense. So I think that's pretty cool. And then the really cool part is the tusks of the mammoth are like, they've taken that weird piece. I don't know what it is on the Deno suit. The original Deno helmet had like the silver metal piece under his eyes, and they've basically turned that into mammoth tusks here, which is really clever. I really like that. And then the whole train track in the middle is now the trunk of a mammoth or an elephant. So I think that's really interesting. I really like how they've taken it. Still looks like Deno. Like if you just showed that to a person before Revice, they'd probably say, yes, that does look like a little bit of a weird Kamen Rider Deno. And it's actually a mammoth. It just happens to look like Kamen Rider Deno. Vice is kind of weird though, because he gets like big shields, and the head looks really weird. I don't remember who pointed this out, but I saw someone, I think, said it looks like Hello Kitty's bow, and now I can't unsee that. It does look like Vice has a little Hello Kitty bow on his forehead, which is kind of adorable though. So, you know. So, moving on, there's more pictures of there's more pictures of that genome, so we can talk about that more. Here's all the toys coming out in Q1. So, I've already talked about the genomes, or the stamps. I don't really hate the stamp gimmick. There's an error here. Actually, I need to talk about this error first before I forget. If I open this image in new tab, can you see what I'm doing? Okay, perfect. Oh, that did absolutely nothing, but okay. If you look at the Kuga Lion, they forgot a piece. Look at the bottom here. They all have the bottom piece Kuga line does not have that line piece, so damn, it's a massive L for Kuga line. Poor Kuga line got completely gypped in the catalog scans. No, these aren't catalog scans, these are magazine scans, but you know what I mean. So the stamps are fine. I don't really have everything is fine, basically. Like, they're not super cool enough to me personally where I'm going to spend all my money on writer gimmicks again this year. I'm not doing that. But they also look pretty good as gimmicks. I think they work as gimmicks of this season. I think there's some symbolism with the stamps and demons in Japan, so that's cool. I still don't really like that some are animals, some are dinosaurs. I think they should have all been dinosaurs, or you make some of them, if it's a Kamen Rider that already is based off an animal, who here is based off an animal? I guess none of these are based off an animal, really. Well, Fies is based off a shark, so his head is. So you could have made Fies Megalodon, and then you could have given Decade the Pteranodon, because he's not based off a shark. But instead we get weird things where I think the suit works, but it is kind of weird. Deno's a mammoth. Well, no, the mammoth is fine because that's in tokusatsu, mammoths are dinosaurs. So thanks Power Rangers for that. But yeah, the thing I really complained about last time was the Xaid Jackal, and it's just because as an Xaid fan, I feel really weird about the season being tied to a jackal. It's I don't know, it's weird. It's I like Xaid. I have nothing against jackals, but it's do I want to buy a jackal stamp that happens to look like Xaid? I don't really want to. Thankfully, they actually got rid of that problem for me, because for some reason the Xaid stamp, you have to buy it with the holder set for the stamps, not the things that go on the side of the driver, but the thing that holds it as a display. It's being sold with that, and I don't plan to get the stamps, so I don't really need that. So I guess I can just ignore the Xaid stamp until it comes out separately or something. So yeah, that's Xaid stamp. Is there no more images in this slideshow? Okay, so moving on to the next thing, which is just more images. Here we get a great look at the Deno genome set in action. Yeah, I think it looks really cool. I like it. Oh, Pronghorn Heroes in the chat. Hello. He says, I need a Rhino Vice stamp. What rider would I like to see it paired with? I would personally pair the Rhino with going off of kind of what they're doing here, where they're just kind of pairing them with animals I guess look good enough, or pairing the animals with a rider that looks like the rider. In some cases, I don't know what about an eagle looks like Kamen Rider Double, but I would have personally paired Rhino with the Ghost, because he has the horn, or Saber, because he also has the horn. But they're probably gonna tie Rhino to a weird thing. I mean, Saber doesn't. They don't have a Saber stamp yet. And I think the Ghost is supposed to be a squid, which is so weird. But I don't know. What are you gonna do? And then Achilles is also in the chat. He says the double comes with the side holders, and I'm so bummed. I saw the Bandai preview thing today for the double stamp, and I guess I'll get to the double stamp in a second. But the jingle is so cool. If there's one thing I will say Revice is doing really, really good, it's the jingles. The bass jingle is awesome. The Megalodon jingle sounds like Jaws, and that's awesome. The bottom one's fine. The eagle one is super cool. The part at the end of it was eagle, eagle, and then it says the mix of the double quote really quickly. That sounds really cool. And then I also like the remix functionality because it's a remix of the jingle. That's very clever. I think that's what they were going for. But like they cut off the part at the end where they say the writer quote, so it's like an exclusive part of the main jingle or something. I think that's really cool. One other thing I think is interesting about the Deno genome, I'm not sure if this is what they were going for, but the boomerangs are like kind of weird. It's like, what does Deno have to do with boomerangs? Well, wing form had a boomerang. the two wing form weapons were like a weird half axe, and I think one of them was intended to be a boomerang. So I was originally gonna say I thought this was their intent of like Deno forms have like the weapons, and in this case you're like boomerang form for Deno, I guess. But maybe they're trying to reference wing form, and then that's because the shoulder pads are like oddly pointy. The Deno sword form isn't that pointy, but wing form is a little pointier. So possibly they're going for like a wing form reference. That's my crazy new guess on the Deno genome, I guess. Or no, the Mammoth genome. They're not supposed to be Kamen Riders. They just look like Kamen Riders, I think. So here's the bike. Our good friend, the $500,000 hover bike, returns in the magazine, and now he has a form to go with it, and it's the Pteranodon genome, and it looks like Fies. And this one also looks really cool. I do really like the look of this one as well. I think it's really cool that they made it based on axle form, and it's kind of like, why is the Fies one just randomly another form? But they kind of, it's clearly because they could do the wings, the Pteranodon wings, and it's kind of like the axle form chest that opens and is open, and in this case they're like, it's open because it's wings. Get it? Because it's a Pteranodon, and the Vice's form is a bike for it, which is insane. I think that's the best part. They're like, Revi, we'll give him a pretty hot looking form. Vice turns into our budget for the show. He's just a whole thing, and that's really funny. One thing I'm interested in is in the early promotional stuff. Literally what we talked about last month. We saw the bike, but Revi was not in the Pteranodon form. So I don't know what's happening with that. Because in these images, I think we always see the bike with the Revi in the form. So it could be like possibly like if Revi uses the form, if he uses it in the belt, they both turn into the form. But if he like stamps Vice with the thing, he turns into the bike. Because I think there was a thing in the movie, the Superhero Senki Revice special, where it said he like stamped Vice into a rubber ducky. So it could be like he stamps him with the Pteranodon, and then he also just turns into the bike, because that's in the movie. Maybe that's just like a weird thing they have exclusive to that movie. Because I don't know if we're gonna see him just use the bike in his base form in the show. So yeah, I guess we'll see. But the bike is weird, but it's cool that it's Vice. And then I really like the Revi form. It's a shame they were like tying it to the bike, honestly, because it would be really cool to see it just on its own. And then also up here, there's like a weird monster with the Lofi beat hip hop girl, the study one, and no one knows what that monster is. The scans don't really say what the monster is, and a few of us are speculating it's Aguilera's monster form, because they haven't really shown that, but I don't know, just throwing that out there, but we don't really know. Now here we go. I said now like I was super excited for this, but it's it's the remixes, which are weird. I really like the idea of the remixes. It's just really funny because they're they're CG monstrosities, but they have a physical form for some moment. Which they just demonstrate here. So on the left, to become the Rex genome, or sorry, the Rex remix, Revi just T poses with the help of Vice, which is funny. And then for the other one, Revi gets on Vice's shoulders. And then for the Megalodon one, he just handstands there. And then for the Mammoth, I don't really want to talk about what's going on here. I'm not really sure what's going on here, especially because it's not CG. So I wonder if they're just like, this eagle is too big, so we're just going to put it here. And the Mammoth one, we're just going to put the physical pre-transformation, and you have to wait for the show to see what the hell is going on with that. It could also be a gag in the show, like, what are you two doing? Okay, so here's side characters in Vice. I don't know what Vice is doing here. It's all the side characters, and he's just like, what up, assholes? I am also here. So I believe all of these, we know the name of all these. These are the monsters of the week. But I don't remember the names. So, well, I know that this one is the Mammoth, I think. This bottom one, I believe, is the Megalodon, and I think this one is Rex. That's what I've heard, and that's weird because the base form is Rex. So how does, if as established in the crossover from last week, the Vice stamps come from the monsters, I think, in this unpurified state, and then George, as a Kamen Rider nerd, imprints a rider face onto it and says, "This is Kamen Rider now." And then it becomes a Kamen Rider. It gets a Kamen Rider face. So like it might be like we might get a flashback thing with the Rex genome with Fenix beating that thing up, and then they got the stamp, and then George put his OC on it, and then we got episode 1. That's what I'm guessing, unless it's not the Rex thing, and I'm just misremembering, and someone mistranslated. Speaking of Fenix, we got Fenix at the bottom. And they still just look like a bunch of dudes wearing white. George is the best one because he's us. He's a Kamen Rider nerd. And then this dude is literally who he's there. This is the brother. The brother's gonna obviously like do stuff. And then this dude, the Amazon's man, he's like in the best poses. There's a picture from the next episode where he's making this face at George, and it's so funny. He's like, what the hell are you talking about? It's like he's doing the face when his employee just puts random kids show characters into his expensive technology. He's like, please stop doing that. That's the face he's making. Not in this picture. Actually, kind of in this picture. He looks a little angry in this picture. So here are the bad guys again. So the middle is Aguilera. This man is Orteca, and I don't think we've figured out whether or not this guy's Frio or Julio, because we haven't heard his name spoken in the show. So or I haven't. Maybe they have spoken his name and I just missed that, which is definitely possible. But here are their monster forms, and so apparently, as I was bringing up earlier, I believe, I'm not sure if it's confirmed, like, here, or if it's, like, just speculation or something, but apparently, I think this is Orteca, and he's supposed to be using Ghost Squid, or Squid, and it's going to become Ghost, and then this one is Frio Julio, and he's using, apparently, Kabuto. I've heard two things. It's either Kabuto Bear or Kabuto Wolf, and last month, I went on a little bit of a tangent about Kabuto Bear, and if Kabuto Bear or Kabuto Wolf is true, it's the same problem for me. That's really stupid. I don't really like that at all. It's what I was talking about earlier, where it's like, if most of the riders they've had so far are not really based on an animal, so it's kind of like, well, most of them aren't based on an animal, so it's kind of like, what are you gonna do? I mean, like, I'm here and there on the XA Jackal, but I mean, it's also like, what were they gonna pair with X? I mean, maybe something cooler than a Jackal, but they didn't really have a clear option to pair. But then Kabuto is literally based off a bug, the beetle, whatever, the Kabutomashi. And it's like, okay, if you don't want to do that because Stronger's also based on the Kabutomashi and they wanted to say that for Stronger, then give him a scorpion because Sawsword. Give him the Gatak beetle, whatever that's called, because Gatak, or Dragonfly because Drake, or a wasp because the bee, or like, I guess you can't do a hopper because they already have Ichigo. But there's like, the show is filled with insect. Give him some kind of insect. But then it's either a bear or a wolf. That's where we're at. A bear or wolf. There's no bear or wolf in the show of Kamen Rider Kabuto unless you consider, like, the one dude. I don't even know who I'm talking about. Is someone a bear in Kabuto? Like a big bear of a man or something. Ghost should have. Okay, well, someone said Ghost should have been an iguana. And I mean, yeah, they have the iguana bike thing. So, like, that's definitely an option there. But I would have, as I mentioned earlier, I would have done it with, like, the rhino or, like, a unicorn. Or, because I don't think, or a triceratops. You could have done a triceratops. And then you could have had, because I think they have, like, a horn on the bottom. And then they have one on the top. Am I misremembering what Triceratops look like? Because it's they have 3, right? So there's one on the top, right? So they could have done a big horn on the top. Hold on. I want Triceratops. I'm on my phone, that's why you can't hear keyboard clacking. Okay, no, they have 2 on their forehead, but they have 1 on their nose. So you could have done the big horn on the nose, and then you could have had 2 horns going off the back of the head. But no, it's a squid, apparently. So, okay. I mean, at least it's like a big squid thingy coming out the forehead. So, someone said Ghost could be penguin, and I'm a little interested where that comes from, because I don't know what Ghost could be penguin comes from. I saw a comment that I wanted to address, but I believe it's gone now. Oh, okay. It doesn't make sense. So I'm just gonna... yeah, someone's saying Kiva's a bat. But the problem is Kiva is a bat makes sense. So they're not gonna do that. If they do Kiva's a bat, like, that will be... Finally, they did something. Because penguins look like they're wearing jackets, I guess. I mean, okay. That's fair. So here's dinosaurs. Here's a Tyrannosaurus Rex that was probably ripped out of a history textbook. Nothing wrong with that. It's just, it has that vibe. I do really like, and there's the 2 other images that are like this. I do really like how they're, like, highlighting the rider face in the back. I think that's really fun. And George is having a blast. Just look at him. He's having so much fun. He's going to be the best character of the show. Look at him. He's doing the Ichigo pose. What? Has there been a civilian that's done the Ichigo pose knowing it's the Ichigo pose? No, exactly. So this is weird. I don't know what is this. So here's a megalodon, but it also just kind of looks like a shark, but that's fine. And then they're like, look, it's Decade. Get it? Because it's Decade. And there's just a random picture from Kamen Rider Decade where he's fighting a blade monster with the blade. I don't know why that's here, because Double just gets a stock photo. And then I'm going to test something. If I look up Eagle right now, will I get this picture? Eagle. Oh, there was a super... Thank you, Patty, for the €5 super chat. He said, Kiva will be a koala. That's so funny. Kiva will be a koala. Okay, so I looked up eagle, and the photo Toei's using is not the first result. And I'm scrolling a bit, and I can't find that image. So they probably just scrolled a very, very long way on Google until they got a result. So good on you, Toei, for putting in the effort. At least the effort of this magazine's game. But why is decade? Why is there a random decade picture here? It's okay. The thing that's confusing me is not that it's a picture of decade. It's why did they pick the decade blade arc for the picture they wanted to use to advertise decade? Why not a picture from episode 1 or something? Look, they even like cropped out like the monster and the horn to go with this picture. Why did you do that? And then here's Champa Champa with the Rex genome. I wonder how many times we're gonna see the remix. Sorry, the Rex remix. Rex remix, not genome. The genome's the normal thing. The remixes are the I don't want to say monstrosity because they don't really look that bad. As long as you don't think about how they're made when the poses they do, it's not that bad. They look fine. I mean, as fine as like CG Kamen Rider things can look. So we've kind of been going for a while with Revice, and I think this is like basically the end of the new stuff because from here on out they're back to low quality images again, and it's just kind of stuff we can see. Here's Revi. He's doing his posing. Here's what's his name? Vice. I forgot his name entirely. He's doing his posing. Look, Rider Kick. Do you get it? It's a 5-0 because it's the 50th anniversary. And then, here's just a random picture of the genome with the Deno genome, the best genome. Sorry, with the boomerang form, Kamen Rider Deno boomerang form. So yeah, that is Kamen Rider Revice September. Basically our look at what the premiere of the show stuff is going to be, because a few of those pictures are from episode 1, I think. So I'm excited for it. I'm not gonna say like, this is gonna be the worst Kamen Rider show ever because dinosaurs and Sentai has had dinosaurs so much. Unbelievable that they would do dinosaurs. Kamen Rider would copy Sentai. Anyway, I'm not. Yeah, it's like I'm gonna watch it. I'm excited to see what they're gonna do. It's just like the aesthetics aren't really bringing me in that much, so I'm kind of just here for what the show will be like. So yeah, the colors are kind of like one thing with it, because like the pink, I don't like seeing Revi on his own is fine, but then when you get to the other forms, I think it's like this weird level of it's kind of cursed how seeing an official product have just being other rider suits recolored. I think that might be it. There's this level of cursed recoloring to me. And like same with Vice's forms. I didn't even really talk about Vice's forms because Vice's forms just kind of get bad after Rex in my opinion, because I think the colors on Rex work so well, but with Vice's other forms they're bringing in other colors, so it's this weird, but they don't get rid of the pink because it has to match with Revi, so it's like a weird pink other colors combo. So actually it is pink on Revi, it's pink on Decade, it's magenta. So talk about the Revice preview. So I have a confession. I haven't watched that with subtitles yet, so I don't really have an opinion on it. But the Vice farting is certainly there. That's the one thing I've seen everyone talk about. They're like, the Vice farts. And like, my problem with it is not entirely that he's farting, because I'm not gonna lie, fart jokes can be funny to me sometimes. I am a child. But I think it's just how often he does it, and how every time he does it, it's like out of nowhere. I think the one time it worked, and the one time they should have done it, is when he did it to like launch himself at the enemy. They should have done that once, and that's it. They didn't need to do it any other time, like close up on his back to do it. Should have just done it for the attack, and I think that would have been fine. Am I getting the Jackal stamp? No. I mean, if I find it for like $5, if I'm on Buyee and I'm ordering my Magine stuff, and then I find it there for like $5 on its own, maybe I'll consider it. It's also like I can't hack the Jingles at all, so it's kind of just like the stamp and standby to me. Whereas with like other stuff, I could have hacked the Jingles. So, yeah. So Kamen Rider Revice. I've been discussing, I guess, with the comments already, but I'm curious what everyone thinks of Revice, either in the preview, the scans, what's to come. Revice. Woo! It's a good jingle. I don't want to sound like unenthusiastic. It's a good jingle. Also, while we're on this picture, why is V3 here? Because we got Ichigo, who's the original, and he has a stamp. Saber and 01 don't have stamps, but they're the last two Railwell Riders, so it's like, yeah, of course they're here. Deno has a stamp, so it kind of makes sense he's here, but he's also Deno, so like, why wouldn't he be here? But over here, why is V3 here? What does he have to do with this? Get him out. That should not be as funny to me as it should be, but I don't know why he's there. Actually, one last thing I want to bring up. Ooh, someone said, how come your thumbnail isn't blurry this time around? Because I put effort into it. So yeah. There was a spider stamp. I'm not sure where it's from. It might be from the movie. It might be from an upcoming episode. It might be just like from a trailer or something. But I believe we don't know what the stamp is going to be doing. We just know the base is bluish, and the spider is red. I think it's going to be Hibiki, because they could probably make like the spider likes Hibiki's like weird lines on his face. So that's my guess for what Hibiki's doing. Oh, V3 is the scientist's favorite rider? I thought his favorite rider was Heisei, though. Like, in Heisei. Because they're all Heisei riders. I really hope they're gonna have a line where he's like, he makes one of the stamps last, and he's like, I don't really like that show, so it's gonna be last. There's so much they could do with George being a fan of Kamen Rider in the Kamen Rider show. So I hope they capitalize on that. So now let's talk about ready to pull the trigger. Ultraman Trigger. There's not too much to talk about here except Dark Trigger. I think that's the name. It's either Dark Trigger or like Trigger Dark, Evil Trigger. There's like a bunch of names for like Tiga's evil thing, so I don't really know. I'm just gonna call it Dark Trigger until someone corrects me in the comment section. So thank you. So Dark Trigger. We got our look at Dark Trigger, our first official look, because there was that like concept art leak a while back, and we just know a Dark Trigger is showing up, and he's gonna be doing Dark Trigger things. He's oh no, never mind, he's gone. It's just we're back to normal Trigger. Oh, this picture's funny. I didn't know this. So I guess in the the Z crossover, I'm literally seeing two things. I'm seeing Trigger Dark and Dark Trigger. That's not fun. Ignis is a pirate and this dude's a pirate, and I guess they're gonna do pirate things together. I think that's really fun. I didn't think about that. This is, from what I understand, Dada is getting an upgrade. It's like, okay. My one experience with Dada, I think, was in an episode of G. It was Jeet or Orb, and he was like in a whole mecha, and it looked really cool. That's like all I remember. but he gets a bigger head, and he's gonna be doing things. Okay, I'm here for it. This down here is weird because Dargon is doing Kabadon to Yuna. I don't know what's going on here. He's either way, he's being a little bit too close to her than he should be. He's millions of years old. She's not millions of years old. She's actually below millions of years old. So that's a little, actually, I guess it's kind of up in the air because Yuzara is millions of years old too. So I'm not gonna defend that though. I'm just gonna, it's weird, especially with the latest episode where she did a Reika Shindai Yuna, and she smacked the crap out of Dargon, and then at the end of the episode he kept thinking about it. So I don't know. He's being a little sus. That's what we'll leave it at that. And then I think this is stage show stuff, so I'm just gonna leave it alone because Ultraman stage show stuff gets confusing. This is the front of the Trigger stuff, I think, so this should have been in the front, but it's fine. Here's another look at Trigger Dark or Dark Trigger. Here's a really good look at Trigger Dark or Dark Trigger. So now's a good point to bring up that apparently he doesn't have a host. He's going to be like the other Dark Giants in that they're just big people that can occasionally get tiny. And I think that's really interesting because from what I understand, Dark Tiga or Tiga Dark was like the original version of Ultraman Tiga, and they might have like separated or something. I don't really know, but I know that was Ultraman Tiga at some point. So here, I mean, you can see Trigger and Dark Trigger just punching each other right there. I assume this isn't like a mental battle thing. So I think I'm really curious to see how Dark Trigger is formed. If it was Trigger originally, if it's like Kengo being Angie, and then it forms Dark Trigger or something. I'm not really sure. One thing I can say is that Dark Trigger does look cool. I like that suit a lot. Probably my second favorite of the Dargon, or of the Dark Giant suits, because I still really like Dargon because he's red. But it's a good looking suit. And I think this is for the Zet crossover. So part of it for the Zet crossover next week, which is really funny because we got scans for this like 2 months ago, and now it's finally happening next week. Looks like it's going to be a 2-parter because in the preview we just get to see Zet original and Trigger, and then all this stuff with the evil King Joe storage, and then Zet, the two of them form changing into the different forms that match. That is all happening. Well, that isn't in the preview for next week. So unless they're hiding a lot, then presumably that's going to be after the next episode. So I'm looking forward to it because I liked Ultraman Zet. I have a review of Ultraman Zet coming soon, hopefully. But I liked Zet, so I'm happy to see Haruki come back and kind of pull what Riku did in his own show and just steal another thing and use the other thing to become an Ultraman. It's a shame they didn't give him a new form, but I think the reason they didn't give him a new form is because if they gave him a new form, they'd have to keep him in that form for the entirety of the 2-parter, because then they'd want to sell that form. But the one hyper key for that form. But if they did not keep him in that new form, and they did what they're doing now, in that they're giving him all of his old forms, they're not just selling you one hyper key. They're going to be selling you original, alpha, edge, beta, gamma, and delta. So they're selling you 5 new keys. And they don't have to make any new suits. So that is true villainy right there. That is, I think we found the true Trigger Dark in its Subarai Productions. That's very sneaky. Someone said they're probably gonna make the keys P Bandai, probably, because I I think only that original we've seen is going to be retail. So the other ones are probably going to be in like a premium Bandai Ultraman Z Hyper Key Deluxe Special Edition, something. Because they did that with the Tiga stuff. They released all his other forms in a premium set, so they're gonna do the same thing. So that's evil. Can't believe they're doing this. But speaking of evil, let's just go back to the actual main event of the scans, which is Trigger Dark. I mean, I don't really know anything about Tiga, so I don't really know anything about how Trigger Dark will play into the show, other than he looks really cool. I think it would be funny if he had a human disguise, and then we got that playing off of Kengo, because they're both Trigger, or a version of Trigger. So actually, one thing I can say is I know that Tiga Dark was just a repaint, so I think it's really cool that Trigger Dark is not a repaint at all. It's just a whole new suit. The head, even the head, I don't think the heads are not even a repaint too, because they've got like the new, it looks like the new etched detailing on his, he's got like bags under his eyes, so that looks like new etched detailing. So it's not just none of it's a repaint. It's all a whole new thing, except the color timer. It looks like they took a color timer off of a Trigger suit and gave it to Trigger Dark. So I wonder if he's going to have a color timer, like if that's gonna, because so they have the thing with Ignis in the opening where there's like that silhouette of a Trigger, and everyone was thinking he'd be or I was thinking he'd be Trigger Dark, but possibly I mean, at least for now he's not, but possibly like in the future Trigger Dark and Ignis will bond with each other, and then the color timer starts doing color timer things, and then Ignis gets a dark shooty sparklance. I forgot its name for a second. So I don't know. That's a possibility. I just, I feel like they would sell a toy for this, right? So there's something going on here. There's also, I know there's another thing called like Evil Tiga. So maybe they're doing Evil Trigger, and that's what Ignis becomes. Why is there like 10 things called Tiga? Like Evil Tiga, Tiga, Dark Tiga. We already have Trigger and Dark Trigger. Evil Trigger soon? Question mark? I don't know. Damn, someone said Trigger Dark, more like Trigger bad. Lol, got him. Actually, might as well talk about Ultraman Trigger the show. Ultraman Trigger the show is pretty alright. I don't hate it. I don't really love it though. It's just, they haven't really, there's nothing really happening that's like maybe like, whoa, what are we going to do in this season right now? Hopefully Trigger Dark will like change that up. He puts us in a new direction, but right now it's kind of like, feels like we're going through the motions of things. I do really like the latest episode though, because the monster reminded me of Galactron, and Galactron from Orb is absolutely amazing. So it was, on one hand I'm kind of like, are we really copying Orb? But on the other hand, it's like, if we're gonna copy an Ultraman season, might as well copy Orb. It's a big shame that Trigger went on like the 2-week hiatus though, with the 2 clip shows. That's kind of dumb. I don't know why they did that, but it's fine. Whatever. We're back. So I'm looking forward to what Trigger brings, especially Ultraman Trigger the Dark. Actually, he's not called Ultraman Trigger Dark, is he? He's just Trigger Dark. That's interesting. I think he might be Ultraman Trigger Dark, but if he's a dark giant, he's not really an Ultraman. So, So now let's move on to waiting while I take a sip of water. Actually, I want to know what you guys think of Trigger first. For anyone watching Ultraman Trigger, what do you think of Ultraman Trigger? And we have 130 people watching my Ultraman Trigger discussion, so that's really cool. Welcome, everyone. Welcome anyone new or anyone who's been here. Hello. we're almost done with Trigger. But did I do Zenkaiger already? I did not do Zenkaiger. Who's my favorite character in Trigger? That's a great question. I'm not really sure because they're all kind of there. Like, Kengo's kind of a meme because he just says smile, smile. Ignis is literally about to die and he says smile, smile. Yuna is just like Luna from Kamen Rider Saber. She's just a plot device right now. Akito is kind of down bad for Yuna. The other Dark Giants are just... I like Hudrom saying excellent a lot. And Dargon just looks cool. Caramel is just a meme to me because I can't say her name and I just kind of call her Caramel. And then literally... Oh, okay, now I know my favorite character. I was going to say none of the other like side characters on the team really do anything for me. Like the one lady who calls the Falcon the Falcon-chan is unsettling to me personally. And then Human Juran is just there. The other dude is I forget he's a character. He doesn't really do anything. And then the best character is the hot dog because no connection to Mao. I don't care about Mao voicing the hot dog, but I just think the hot dog sounds really funny because it's like first of all, it's a walking hot dog. That is like, okay, it's a walking hot dog, and then, but like the lights that go off in the walking hot dog, they look really nice, and then the walking hot dog just is like, hello everybody, it's me, the walking hot dog, and Ignis, you have tattoos on your face. That's what the hot dog sounds to me. I completely forgot the name. Someone said Marlulu. Thank you for reminding me of the name. But I don't need it because I'm just going to call him the walking hot dog. And people are reminding me of what Caramel's name is. That's not the problem. The problem isn't that I can't say her name. The problem is that her name is Caramel. Okay. €5 super chat from Patty. Thank you, Patty. But he said no simp September. Let's go. I'm not sure what prompted that. I can guarantee you this will be a simp September, just not for anyone in Ultraman Trigger. Who the hell in the show is the walking hot dog? I mean, if you watch Ultraman Trigger, there is a walking hot dog. There's literally no other way to explain to you that he's a walking hot dog. And I don't mean to be racist, but that goes for the whole species of aliens as well. I know there is one of them, an orb. He's like an evil version, but he still is a walking hot dog. He just looks a little more villainous, but he's definitely still a walking hot dog. I almost made that review or made that joke in my orb review. I was gonna say something like Juggler got his ass beat by a walking hot dog, but I didn't make the joke because I didn't want to make a 30-minute long review. So yeah, that's my final verdict on Trigger, walking hot dog. So now let's talk about Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger. I figured I sang the Trigger theme song, might as well sing the Zenkaiger theme song. So not Ultraman, what the hell? Zenkaiger is still very cool. I really love Zenkaiger for many reasons. One of those reasons is the Sentai stuff, because this month we're getting Stacey making his comeback again. I think it wasn't last month the Nisei Robo debut, so he's making a comeback, part 2, or his second comeback, I guess, and he's up to no good. So here's just the intro. Here's a wonderful recap of Stacey's character arc in the last month. He got his ass kicked by Zenkaiger. There you go. Thank you. I didn't talk about Zenkaiger last month, I guess, because I did the Revice live stream, but nothing really happened. There was nothing. I won't say nothing happened because stuff happened, but with the stuff they showed in the scans, it was just CG form and CG attachment form. So, okay, here we go. Mr. Cooper had a very good point. Majin Sentai Majin Ranger. Exactly. So, this month in Majin Ranger, we get... Oh, okay, more Stacey, I guess. Oh, here's the look at his power-up. I think... So, he's still Stay Caesar, and they're not... I do really like that they're not exactly saying it's a power-up. Like, he's more powerful. And they are saying he's more powerful, but it's not like a new form. I think what the translation of it is like Stay Caesar, and then like in parentheses like refined or like upgraded. I think I do like that they're just like, you know, it's still Stacy, it's still Stay Caesar. He's just in parentheses upgraded. He's got missiles on his arms and he has shield. And actually this is like the clearest look I think of Black Juragaon. So, before we get to things, we have gears to look at. So, gears, Kamen Rider gears, they still haven't released these. They showed off they're happening. The Saber one at least, but these haven't happened. I do wonder what's happening with they might be with the Blu-ray, actually, for the Superhero Senki movie, because the big Bach is a separate thing. So, gears, I think they show off, if the gears menus, they have a thing about the power, I think. One thing that's a little bit interesting is they've skipped Gokaiger and Kyoryuger. So, Gokaiger, it makes sense why they skipped it, because Gokaiger's bad. That's a joke. I haven't seen Gokaiger. Because they're probably, whatever the Gokaiger gear is gonna do, it's the last anniversary. Sorry, not the last anniversary. I'm sorry, Jojo. That was me. It's the last. It's Gokaiger, I guess. That's the only explanation. It's the 10-year anniversary. There you go. It's the 10-year anniversary of Gokaiger, so whatever the gear's gonna do, they're probably gonna do something crazy with it. They've got the movie, so it kind of makes sense they're like hiding it here. They're like, ooh, what is Gokaiger gear gonna do? But it's weird what that Kyoryuger got gypped out. What did Kyoryuger do? Is Kyoryuger also going to play? That's my question. Is Kyoryuger also going to play like a big role with the gear, or like with the aesthetics, and that's why they're hiding the gear, because it's going to be doing something? Oh, okay. Someone mentioned they skipped 29 and 32, which is, I did not notice that. So I guess they are just randomly skipping. Which 29 and 30 are Maji Ranger and Bokenger, which is tied to wait. So that's Majin and Vroom, obviously. Gokaiger's Zox, so that would be missing. So where's 16? Oh, weird. Okay, so Jewel Ranger gets to be here, and Go Ranger, but then they've skipped a couple other Rangers, and then Kyoryuger in the lead. So that's interesting. Okay, now I'm really curious. What are they doing? Hello, Toei, please. My DMs are open, Toei. You can, if you figure out why that's happened, I'm available. Also, on that note, Toei, please respond to my DMs about adding Ryu Kaiser into the show. That's a joke. So that's it for gear stuff. That's our minor gear tangent. Now we can talk about Stacey in parentheses power up. So Stacey's getting his power up. I would argue his bigger power up is his glow up with his new whatever he's wearing. It looks really cool. Looks better than his last one, in my opinion. But his new form. It's not a new form. It's just he gets a shield and some missiles. But I do like the attention to detail where he's getting to do things. He gets new pieces of upgrade, but they don't like go over the top with it. Oh, okay. So everyone's saying maybe it's gears that appeared in the show. Let's go back. Oh, yeah. Wait, did they use Geki Ranger? When did they use Geki Ranger? I don't remember Geki. Oh, Zox used it. And then they have used all of these. And then this one I don't think they've used, but they're showing us what it'll do. Same with Car Ranger. Okay, yeah, I think that might be... yes, I believe that is what it is. Because then they use Aka, or Go, Ju, and Gao. They've used those gears. So yeah, I guess that's what they're doing. It's just gears that appeared in the show. So they haven't used Magi or Bokenger, so they're not here. And then they haven't used Gokaiger, haven't used Kyoryuger. So, okay. Good job, everyone. We did it. Good job, chat. I'm proud of you. Oh, yeah, and the Akiba Ranger gear. I'm not really, like, I haven't seen Akiba Ranger, so it's not, like, a huge... Oh, my God, it's Akiba Ranger, but it's also, like, Akiba Ranger's an unofficial Sentai. And it has a deluxe... Not a deluxe, but it has an official... appearance in a show, so that's actually really cool. That's what I'm more excited about. So back to Stacey. He gets things. This is the most exciting part of Stacey's new power-up to me, is his new summoning ability, where they've kind of switched things up, where instead of summoning whole teams, he's now summoning one power-up. So he summons, I mean, you can see here, he's summoning Abare Max, I think is the name, and the Ghost Sager one. I don't know the Japanese one of it. I just know it's Ultra mode in Megaforce. Sorry, but that's what I see it as. So we get to see the two power-ups / in parentheses power-up fighting together, or against each other. Sorry, they're dueling. They're dueling in the classic Toei River. That's where, like, double Joker form did a thing. I think Forza episode 1 was there, and I can't think of any other instances, but I can assure you that River is very, very popular. And then in the bottom left here, I believe that's Kaito's mom. You can't really see, especially with this is like watermarked for some reason, but you can see Kaito's mom, or presumably, let's just assume it's Kaito's mom. And they're not really making a big deal out of that. It's like, we've literally had like 10 episodes end with a zoom into his mom, or his mom and dad, and she's right there. He's saving her, but we're not gonna make it bigger. Okay. That's another thing with these scans. They don't really focus on the show, like the episodes, or sorry, it's only about this next episode, really, because we know that next episode is going to be the Abare Max and the Super Ghost Saber, as someone said in the chat. Thank you. We know those are coming next week, and we know we're getting Stacey's new outfit, his new arm, and then his black Juragown is at least in like the end of the episode. I'm assuming it's going to be like the last two times Stacey has debuted his mecha, and it's going to be like, oh my god, it's a new mecha, and then the episode ends. But like, that's pretty much, we're only being shown stuff from this next episode, other than the Kaito mom thing, I assume. So I'm really interested in what they are hiding. What is going to happen in this month? Is everyone's going to die? Please don't have that happen. But yeah, they're definitely hiding stuff from us. Which Zenkaiger's really done that actually for a while, since Stacey, actually. Every time it has to do with Stacey, because Stacey's debut, Stacey's was not in the magazine scans. I think the gear Tozinger was in the magazine scans, and we obviously, I think the Tozinger and the Dark Gears were in the magazine scans with the summonings, but we didn't see the we didn't see Stacey or Stacey's in those scans. So every time they summon Stacey, they like to, or every time they bring up Stacey, not summon, they like to hide what he's doing in the month. So there's definitely more going on in this month. So this is his big power up. So we had this progression where Stacey goes from super cool looking mecha to the same mecha with a new head to now also cool looking mecha. Not as super cool, but it does look cool. I believe the name of this is Dark Zenkaiger Black Juragon, or it might just be like Black Juragon. I'm not entirely sure, but it's a repaint Megazord, but it's an evil repaint Megazord, and we don't really see evil repaint Megazords too often. And it's a cool repaint, so it's it's perfectly fine. I also like the dark gears he's using. It's got an evil Druran and an evil Gaon, and he summons presumably an evil. I mean, yeah, you can see it right here. At least an evil version of their animal forms, and then they would probably it's probably just like he's only gonna summon them in the animal forms, and then it's like for the combination sequence. I wonder if I was gonna say something, but I don't remember what I was gonna say. The one thing everyone's talking about is if we're gonna get a dark VrooMagine, and I would be open to that possibility. I won't deny that. But I don't think it's gonna happen because I feel like they would have shown us a dark VrooMagine in these magazine scans, because it's like, if that's going to happen, why hide it? I mean, you showed us this one. What's showing us the other one isn't going to be like a big surprise. And then it seems like a weird thing to space out between 2 months. So yeah, I don't think we're getting a dark VrooMagine. So, but I could be wrong. I probably will be wrong. And actually these pictures here are not in the preview for next week, so this is like, I feel like, again, like we're gonna get like a weird, oh my god, it's new mecha, and then cut off the episode. It's Black Dragon on this page. Yeah, okay, we'll stick with this page. Yeah, same thing, more fighting. Hi, Majin on the corner. So one thing I'm wondering is Stacey's mecha has had this like progression where he's gone from, he's had his base form, he debuted, and then he got his mecha, and then his mecha got rebuilt with just a minor change, in that case a new head, and now he's getting a completely new mecha, at least for his standards. It's not completely new in the scheme of Zenkaiger, but from his point of view, it's a completely new mecha. So I want his Ranger form is kind of doing the same thing. He's going from he got his form, and now he's got that little minor change, in this case the missile arms, since he doesn't really get, the shield isn't really part of him, so he just gets the missile arms. So I wonder if soon he's gonna get like a whole redesign after he's defeated in his upgraded form. Maybe in that case we'll get Dark VrooMagine to go with his wholly new upgraded form. I don't know. It's a question. What would they do with the wholly new upgraded form, though? I mean, I guess they would do Super Staceyzer, because there's a rumor that Super Staceyzer is, or no, actually no, there was a rumor that Battle Caesar Robo Nisei was going to become a half body, and then it could combine with Kaito in Super Zenkaiger, and that would be like the super, that would be the main combination, because you can see here like the Super Juran form is kind of wonky, but Super Kaito and Super Stacey would be like the main combination. And then it was also said that would be able to combine with others and create Super Majin, and that means I would have to get it. But now Battle Caesar Robo Nisei is just completely gone. So I don't know what's happening with that now. It could have been like the rumor was mistaken for a Super Staceyzer instead of a Battle Fever Robo Nisei. Who knows? But I think that's it, because I think this next thing is just one picture. Yeah, it's just one picture, and it's every monster, I think, so far. Yeah, we got Mushroom, Ice, Sushi, Mushroom, Ice, Boxing, sushi, garbage. Door was next, right? Door, Kabutomashi, Sun, Tag, Time, Snail, Recycle, Retro, Magnet, Invisible from the best episode, Love, Copy, Kabuto, Bowl, and Vacation. No, this one's Vacation. Which one is this? Oh, this is from the crossover episode, I think, with Majine's mom. So that is all the monsters. I just went through all of them for no reason, because that's all there is on this page. So that is it for these Zenkaiger scans for this month. So what I'm really excited for is not necessarily Stacey's new stuff, which is still cool. I'm happy he's getting a little bit of an upgrade, but I'm also happy it's like a minor thing, but they're calling it a minor thing. He's still Stay Caesar with just a little addition. And then Black Dragons are really cool next step for Stacey, going from basically the same mecha twice to a whole new mecha. And then I'm just excited to see like if there's anything they're hiding. Because it feels like they're hiding something, because there's not a lot here. It's just all kind of the same thing of this is what's happening next month, not next month, this is what's happening next episode, and a few things that you can probably guess are happening after that episode, but nothing too extreme. So I feel like they're hiding something. Especially since they're only showing like 2 Super Ranger summons. Like, are they really only going to have him summon Abare Max and Super Gosei Red? Because at least you can have him summon Kirame Red in the super form, because this is the last season. And the thing I'm really hoping is that Stacey uses the Ryusoldier gear and it summons Max Ryusol Red, because not only because that's my favorite suit in Ryusoldier and Sentai, it just looks really, really, really cool, but it would be summoned and share screen time with Majin, and that's really makes me lightheaded to think about that. That's really, really cool. I would probably faint if that happened. I could not process that information to get my favorite character ever and my favorite suit in the same frame of an official Sentai product. So someone asked, what do I think of Zenkaiger? I love Zenkaiger so much. It's just every week it's just so much fun. The show is just so much fun, and I really love that about it. Like usually in the past I've been like, oh, I like the plot in my show, but honestly over time I just kind of want to have fun with the show, and Zenkaiger does a perfect job of having fun, but it's not like there's stuff happening. Like the vacation episode is the best example I can give, where it is technically a filler episode. There's nothing, you could skip that episode and you could watch the recap and nothing's different. Actually, you could skip the recap too and nothing changes. Episode 25. But in that vacation episode, they have a line, and like the episode's about how the Toji Tendo have captured Earth because now everyone's on vacation. So it is a filler. It's like nothing really happens to the grand story. But within the episode, they're like, hey, we won. We did the invasion because of this vacation monster. So while we're doing all this vacation shenanigans, and Majin has a really cute new necklace, it's like, no, they've won. The villains have won, and then they lose again by defeating the thing that helped them win. But I just really love that. So someone also brought up that it's a self-aware Sentai show, and that's also just one of my favorite parts. Like, they change the roll call like every other episode, and the Sentai roll call is one of my favorite parts of Sentai for me. I just really like the idea of the characters standing in a green screen room and just shouting their name before they fight, and it's just really cool to me. And Zenkaiger really plays with the idea of Sentai Rangers doing their roll call. We've got, like, even within, like, episode 5, like, Kaito and Jordan had, like, their own unique morph and roll call when they were, like, attached to the sushi. But then, like, the Garbage World, everyone's roll call changed because they became, like, Garbage Zenkaiger or something. Haha, funny joke about quality of Zenkaiger. I disagree, but, a couple episodes ago, we got, the copies. They got their own roll call, but they, like, interrupted the roll call, which is super fun. And then even the Zenkaiger, the Saber crossover, they gave Ryoga his own roll call, but they made it a joke. They were like, hey, you have to do a roll call. That's what we do here. And he's like, oh, okay, I'm going to be generic again. I'm just... But then later in the episode, they gave Sabala her own stock footage roll call, like... But, like, it's the fact, too, that Saber didn't even give her stock footage transformation. And then Zenkaiger steps in and gives her, not a roll call transformation, but gives her the Saber-style roll call. Not roll call, but the Saber-style, like, environment with the sort of logo, with the Rider emoji writing and the book in the back. But then they give her the Zenkaiger text. It's so cool. I love it. It's like a lot of the little things in Zenkaiger that really comes together for me. Yeah, in the vacation episode, the Zenkaigers, the roll call individually was the same, but the final roll call was brand new. The Gold Tweakers had their own, like, family roll call. They got Flint and the brothers in on it, which is really great. And then the monsters got their own roll call too. Even after they got, like, the Recycling World monsters at a roll call. So it's like the roll calls. I know it's a really weird thing, but, like, the roll calls changing every so often is, like, one of my favorite parts of the show. But I wouldn't lie if a big part of my enjoyment from the show comes from my favorite Sentai character being a main character. She's just really fun and cute, and I really like her. And she really makes every episode the best as well. Sorry, it's true though. I can't lie. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on Zenkaiger, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on Zenkaiger, everyone. That's the end of our scans. So, basically, opening up the floor. How long have we been going? Let's see. Oh, less than an hour and 30. So I guess we could go, and we have 95 viewers. So thank you, everyone, for coming out. I'm not ending right now, but I'm just bringing it up. So, I will just opening up the floor for anyone, whatever question about Zenkaiger or whatever thing. It's discussion time, everyone. Live stream discussion. As I took a sip of water. Do I watch Power Rangers or not? I do still watch Power Rangers. I'm watching, as in when Dino Fury comes back, I will watch Dino Fury, but Dino Fury is gone. But other than that, I don't really go back and watch older seasons of Power Rangers, even if they're seasons I haven't seen, just because I don't know. For me, I've seen a lot of them as a kid, and I mean, I'm not gonna say like, oh yeah, I've seen them because I saw them when I was a kid, but it's kind of like I'd rather go watch the Sentai and experience a different viewpoint on it, I guess. So yeah, I'm not really. I'm only like in Power Rangers for like Dino Fury and getting like the Dino Fury Zords and stuff. Other than that, it's just kind of okay. Hopes for Trigger. I don't really have any hopes for Trigger. I usually don't have any hopes for like a show that I watch unless it's like Zenkaiger and I really want a certain Zenkaiger to get a power up. But other than that, it's like Trigger. I don't know. Trigger could do whatever as long as it like doesn't fumble the ball. I'll probably come out and join it. Actually, one thing I'd really like to do, or like for them to do, is I'm assuming they're gonna do a reference to Glitter Tiga. And I'd really like if they did what they're doing with his form changes, where he does the Tiga thing, where he changes just base form colors, and then the suit changes entirely. I'd like if Glitter Tiga was like, they did that effect. He just got piss all over him, and he turns glittery, and then the suit changes, and then they keep him glittery. What do I think they'll make the 01 and Saber Vice stamp animals? Well, 01 is rumored to be a giraffe, which is stupid. So there's that. And what would I want Saber to be? Or what do I think? What do I think? I think it'll be something stupid. What do I want it to be? Like a rhino or like a unicorn with the horn? I mean, ideally I'd want it to be like a dragon, but I don't think... This one I can kind of get, because I don't think they would give... They're not doing, like, mystical animals, so I can understand if they don't give him a dragon, and they'd probably prioritize a dragon for, like, Ryuki or Wizard, so I would give him, like, a horned animal, so you can get the horn going with the suit. Do I want Majin to have a power-up? I would send money to Toei to give Majin a power up. Like, I'm completely serious. If they if it was up to me, yes, she would 100% get a power up. Maho no power up, Legend Zenkai Majin. Possibility for a black VrooMagine? I think it's possible, but it's not in these scans, so I don't know if it's very possible, but I do think it is possible. It's up in the air. I won't say they won't do it. Am I watching Magi Ranger now? I believe I finished Magi Ranger. Yeah, I did. And I really like it. I don't want to spoil my thoughts for the review, but I like Magi Ranger. Recommendations for the next Sentai watch? Magi Ranger. Actually, just watch whatever you think looks cool for Sentai. That's pretty much the rule of thumb for me in Toku. If you think the show looks cool, then you'll probably enjoy it to an extent, unless it's really, really, really bad. Is Zenkaiger still making episodes? Yes. I don't know why they wouldn't be. The show's halfway over. Oh my god, it's halfway over. I really don't want Zenkaiger to end. I'm gonna be really sad when Zenkaiger ends for many reasons. I'm really enjoying the show, but I'm also gonna be really sad to see the characters go, because they mean a lot to me. One of them means a lot to me, and I don't want them to go away. 01 being a giraffe makes sense if you think about 01 starting the giraffe Toys R Us gimmicks. Right, but also there's a wolf right there, because there's a whole rider that's a wolf. There's a cheetah, because there's a whole rider that's a cheetah. There's an eagle, falcon, because there's a whole rider that's a falcon. There's literally all of 01's non-hopper forms that he uses in the show. I don't understand why go with a giraffe for 01, a form he didn't use in the show. I don't think the progress key even appeared in the show. I don't get it. Imagine Majin used the Ryu Soldier Red Max gear to get a Hyper Muteki form. I really like the sound of that. Like, a lot. I can't stress how much I really like the sound of that. Do I watch Ultra Galaxy Fight on YouTube? Yes. I watched The Absolute Conspiracy, and then I watched the New Generation one like a month back or something, and they're both really cool. I think I like the New Generation one more just because I really liked the New Generation movie, or I mean, it's kind of a movie. Let's just call it a movie, or special. The New Generation special, having a whole segment dedicated to this Ultraman Zero, the Heisei Ultraman. It's so funny. I don't know. That's so weird. But it's also like a legitimately cool movie or special, whatever. I'm just hoping for a Flint Ranger form. It could be Mega Ranger based, like the Gold Squeaker family or Space Pirates. Zox got the pirate thing, so Flint could get the space. I didn't think about that. That's really cool. I'm not gonna say like I need Flint to get a Ranger form, because I think it's pretty cool that she's like just the mechanic, and she's pretty competent as just the mechanic in the show. But if she became a ranger, I would not be opposed to that. I would personally like her to be Zyuohger, just because then we get all the anniversaries are Sentai Rangers. How is my Majin Shrine going? Well, I actually just got the other day, here's the crinkling. I got the rubber keychain, a civilian Majin, and it came with the mini plot for VrooMagine. So I finally have the mini plot, and I have the Gashapon. So all I have left for VrooMagines is the DX. And then for other Majin merch, I need to get like the civilian keychain, and I'll probably get that like this month with some Gashats and stuff. And there's a few other things too with that, but I can't remember them right now. But next big stop is DX VrooMagine, and I'm probably gonna get that. I'm waiting to see if I can get that with the Zenroku Cannon that comes out next. I'm not sure when it comes out, but at least we're gonna see it next month in the Zenkaiger scans, and it's supposed to be if the rumors are correct, it's going to have Kikinoid voice quotes, which is the main reason I would get it, so I could get Majin's voice in a toy. But it's also rumored to be able to combine with all 4 Kikinoids to form the final Ranger mecha. So if that's true, since I'm already going to get VrooMagine, at that point I might as well get Juragaon. So I need to see if all those rumors are true, I would get both Zenkaios and the Zenryoku Cannon all in, like, either if they sell in a set or just like buy them all together, and then I could use them all together. How far am I in with Magi Ranger? I'm done with Magi Ranger. I finished. I'm just really slow with making reviews and stuff. Someone asked, I think, how's Rider Potential Kabuto going? It's slow because I'm slow. I'm not a fast worker. I apologize. I've been doing pretty well. Not to toot my own horn, but I've been doing like weekly uploads recently, and I'm really proud with those videos. So I'm like really happy with where my videos are, but I also still feel like I work really slow. So haven't been keeping up with the episodes in the crossover. The crossover. The word is crossover, but I believe my brain just auto-corrected crossed and added Saber after it. So haven't been keeping up with the episodes, and with the crossover with Saber, I thought that was maybe the end movie for the shows. No, not at all. The Zenkaiger movie, or the Superhero Senki movie crossover with Saber, is only like halfway through the show. Zenkaiger is only halfway through, thankfully. Which Kamen Rider series have I seen? Basically, not to self-promo, but if you watch the end of the Saber review, that ranking thing, where it goes through all the episodes, or it goes through my Kamen Rider season ranking, that is all of the Rider seasons I've seen. People may remember that in my Geo review, I actually had I had Drive on it, or I had Drive and Double, but they were both like blacked out, or like not blacked out, they were like transparent a bit, and that was because I was like halfway through Double, and I literally watched one episode of Drive and I stopped, not because of the quality of the show, I just, things got caught up to me and I just got away from watching Drive. So I don't know why I thought I'm gonna rank it with other Kamen Rider seasons, but I did. So now that's why Drive isn't in any of the rankings. It's just because I was stupid. So Geartlinger or Geardellinger? Geartlinger all the way, because it looks cooler. The functionality is cooler. There's a certain character that uses it that's much prettier, and presumably a memorial version would have said character's voice in the gun. So, yeah. I think there was a question I saw. What do you want for the future of Saber? Which reminded me that I didn't talk about the Saber V-Cinema. So, let me see if I can get like a picture going of the Saber V-Cinema. Because I'm really excited for that. Click clack of keyboard. Someone also asked if I'm still live, and it's true, I am still live. I'll probably go for a little bit longer. Okay. Oh, okay. I didn't put V-Cinema. I just typed in Kamen Rider Saber Cinema, and the first thing that popped up was the movie with the other movie with Bahato, and I was like, what what is that doing there? So there you go, movie poster. So when am I talking about Trigger Dark? I already talked about Trigger Dark. I've already talked about all the magazine scans. If anyone wants to ask me a question, and it won't take too long, I will address the question. But Saber movie. So I believe this is called Kamen Rider Saber: The Trio of Deep Sin, which is really edgy. I don't know who came up with that, but you are insane, and I respect that. And I don't think we know anything about the movie at all. Well, we know something about it, but we don't know like the plot. We just know it takes place 8 years later, and it just focuses on our main sword driver trio. And that is something I'm so happy about. For two reasons. First off, I think that making it 8 years later is just really cool. It's very different from other V-Cinemas just being about the characters like right after the show or during the show even. It's like it's after the show. But 8 years later, 8 years is a weird time frame as well. I don't know why they went with 8 as opposed to anything else, as opposed to 10 or 5. 8 is just a weird number to me, but it's fine. It's because 7, 8, 9. But then on the other hand, it's not focusing on a character. It's not the Kamen Rider, well, to an extent. It's not the Kamen Rider Blades V-Cinema. It's not the Kamen Rider Espada V-Cinema. It's not the Kamen Rider Blades and Espada V-Cinema, like in Xaid or Angeim, when they just had like in Drive. Well, no, Xaid was one movie focusing on 2 people, and the other 2 was 2 movies, but it was like joined together. But anyway, this is about the 3 main riders, trio of Deep Sin. So it's essentially not to make the Saber as a Sentai comparisons again, because I don't like those comparisons if they're not jokes, because it's kind of stupid. But it is kind of like a Sentai Returns movie where it's years later, and it's the Vulcan and Valkyrie V-Cinema. But it's years later, and it's not about a character. It's about a group of characters. And I think that's amazing, because what they've been doing for a while with the V-Cinemas is they name it after a character, but the movie's not really about... it's about that character, but the character is... Okay. The Gaim V-Cinemas are like... The Baron one is just about Baron. Baron is in it, he's doing a thing, he's fighting a dude, and at the end, the one girl shows up and gives him his power-up. The Knuckle one, it's about Knuckle, he's doing this thing, he's doing that, he gets his power-up, and maybe he dies. But since the Gaim ones, or the Drive ones are like that too, it's honestly like kind of since not really since Xaid. Xaid kind of does it, but the V-Cinemas are based on the 2 characters, and the V-Cinema's about those 2 characters. Like in the Brave and Snipe one, Brave and Snipe are the only 2 Kamen Riders really that do anything, except Cronus, but Cronus was Snipe. But like in Build, the Cross movie is about it's about Cross Z. He gets the form, but all the other build characters are in it. It literally, not to spoil build, but it literally deals with the implication of build's finale with all the characters when it's a cross Z movie. The Grease movie does the same thing. It's a Grease movie, but it deals with like all the characters. There are scenes with just other characters in build. The Gates movie is the same thing. It's Gates' movie, but the other characters are in it, but it really doesn't focus on them, so that's fine. The 01 movie especially, I haven't seen Vulcan versus Valkyrie. It's not out to Japanese people yet. But at least the Metsubo Jinrai one, it doesn't, I mean, it's about Metsubo Jinrai, but like Vulcan's in it because he's getting his movie, and Yua's in it because she's getting the movie. It's just, I don't know, it's a pet peeve, honestly, and all. I'm not gonna say it's like a really big complaint. Well, it's a big complaint for me, but it's not like a really objectively big complaint. It's just when I watch V-Cinema, I want V-Cinema to be about character in V-Cinema, not the other characters. I don't want to see the other characters. I want to see the character the V-Cinema is named after. And in this case, it's named after all three of them, so it kind of gets rid of that problem. So I think that's really great. But then we're getting new toys with it. So we're getting I'm not going to pull up a picture, but we're getting the Arabiana Nights Wonder Ride book, and we're getting the Gecko Raimaken Ikazuchi emblem. Finally, a new emblem. And then we're getting the, I think, Amazing Siren Wonder Ride book. So Espada's getting his own upgrade in it, but it's not an Espada movie, and I'm perfectly fine with that. He's the one who's like the furthest behind in power level. The movie might focus on him a bit, but as you can see with this trailer, the trailer and this poster, he's not like the main character. It's not like the Kamen Rider Espada movie. Oh yeah, and Blades and Saber are like starring in it because they were also in the show. No, it's all three of these characters are to star in the movie, but the one that needs an upgrade is going to get his own upgrade, and I think that's amazing. I am here for that, and I'm so excited for the movie. It comes out May, so that's like really sad. It's so far away. The Arabiana Nights book looks cool. Presumably it would give Espada his blue and like a navy blue and gold form, which is going to look real nice, I assume, because all the saber suits look real nice. I love that we're getting a new emblem, even though it's really dumb that it's so late now. The show's over. We finally got a new emblem, and it's like just an upgrade emblem, I assume. I'm pretty sure it's just gonna make the sword say Raimaken Ikazuchi. I think they're only including it because they're gonna make the book say not Ikazuchi Bato. It's gonna be like gecko like a lizard. Ikazuchi Bato, a super Ikazuchi Bato, whatever. And the new emblem is just to facilitate that, like, to make it look cooler or something. I don't really have a problem with that, though. And then, oh yes, people are bringing up Caliber. It might be based off of Caliber, because, like, Kurayami, or, like, Ankokuken, it means, like, moon. And the new Espada emblem has, like, a moon shape on it. So it's probably going to be related to the Kurayami. So I think that's really cool as well. And then the other book, I'm really interested in what that book's going to do, because there's a lot of speculation about what's going to happen to it. A lot of people are saying the villain will use it. A lot of people are saying Falchion could, I mean, kind of the same thing, because it seems like Falchion's going to be returning. A person is going to become Kamen Rider Falchion in the movie. I don't like Kyomu, but I'm open to the idea of the movie villain rider just continuing to do stuff in the lore of the show. I think that's awesome. So the Kyomu could use it, but the thing that I'm a little weirded out by is they don't really sell the V-Cinema toys to use like random items. The V-Cinema toys have always just used the main, like the main belt or a retail belt. Like I'm trying to think, like in Drive, they all use the Drive driver, or in Mock's case, he used his belts. It's just a weird. Kyomu's not a retail item. It was a premium Bandai thing, so it feels weird to sell this new book. And it's like, if you want to actually use this book, you have to track down the premium Bandai toy, or you have to have already bought the premium Bandai toy at its ridiculous price. So it's just, I don't think it's for Kyomu, just because that doesn't really make sense from like a marketing standpoint to me. He might be used. It might be like an attack with Kyomu, in which case that makes sense. Like the Espada, or sorry, like the Kenzan thing, but I don't really think Kyomu Falcon is going to use it. But I'm also not sure what it'll be used, because it's a the spine is like silver gray, which is, all the books in the show are black. Or sorry, they're all, well, yeah, they all have the black like insides and the black spine. The Legend Rider books had the gold thing because they're gold, or because they're Legend Rider books. And then the only one in the show that didn't is, I guess, the Falcon book, Eternal Phoenix. Which arguably is just because it's like a premium thing, or like it's special or whatever. So I don't know. The silver thing makes it clear it's not a normal Wonder Ride book. It's not a normal Wonder Ride book, but it's not unnormal enough that it's a freaking big chunk of plastic like some of the other ones. So yeah, I don't know. My guess is it's just going to be used for an attack with the Kyomu, and that's even if it's used with the Kyomu. It might just be used, I've seen some people say like Blades could use it with the sword driver, which, I mean, I would say that it's possible. That's 100% possible, because he'd be using the sword driver. That's the retail toy. That's the main toy. Everyone either has it, or if you want it, you can find it pretty easily. And since he uses the animal slot, he could use it as a form. But again, it's the silver thing. Like, the silver piece, would that work with the black piece of the Blades book? Because we don't know. We don't know how it works. The name of it too, Amazing Siren. I've seen some people bring up like sirens are bad. They do stuff. So possibly oh, okay, this is a good point. Yeah, I forgot. Durandal and Sabla have the different spine colors as well. So maybe it's used with the Gecko Raimeken Ikazuchi, because that would technically be, to an extent, a new Seiken. I don't think they're gonna make it like a new Seiken, like the Ikazuchi and the Super Ikazuchi are like two different things. It's probably just gonna be a power up, but I guess it is possible that it powers up, and now he can use this silver spined book because it's different and it goes with that thing, much like how the other silver spine books are like connected to a sword, I guess. So that's a good point. No, it can't go inside of Erebiana Knights because it is a primitive dragon. Erebiana Knights is a primitive dragon remold, but it doesn't have the slot anymore. So it can't go with, I mean, it could go with that in that the new Erebiana Knights goes in the first slot, and then Siren goes in the, Siren goes in the first slot and Erebiana goes in the last slot, because there would be the space for that. But it can't be that they can't go inside of each other, because the functionality isn't there for that. So someone just said Revice driver. I don't think it's going to be used with the Revice driver. That's definitely, I was going to say that's definitely possible. That is not definitely possible. It's not. It's a different belt. So it's not going to work with that. Oh yeah, I think at the end of the Saber show they said there was other books out there. So yeah, they would have. I mean, there's the door. The door's right there. They're like, look, new books, silver book. Ooh, got 'em. I would really like. I think it would be interesting if like maybe because it's silver, like they all could use it. Because again, Amazing Siren, they're being controlled, possibly. So possibly it's like a controlling book. Like all the at least maybe like Buster, Kenzan, and Slash would be using it in their books, and it's like they're controlled by the main villain, maybe Falchion. But I don't think Falchion's using it because it's not a retail belt. That's the one reason I don't think Falchion will use it in the belt, because how are you gonna market that toy? I mean, I guess they're not selling the toy separately, so you're probably 9 out of 10 people are probably just buying Erebiana Knights and the Emblem, and they're like, I guess this other book is included as well. I highly doubt anyone is just buying the Siren book. So maybe that's what they're doing. Some said it's an X-Swordsman retool. Well, they are wrong, because it is a Primitive Dragon retool. You can see that very clearly with the spine. It's Primitive Dragon spine, and you can see it has Primitive Dragon's like edge detailing, and the sticker shape is the exact same as Primitive Dragon. So so I actually think I'm going to end here, because we've been going for a little under 2 hours. I don't feel like going right to 2 hours because we're kind of dipping in viewers. We're only at 47. Not that I'm gonna stop streaming because there are no viewers, but I mean I'm running out of things to talk about too. So and you can clearly see that. So final call for questions. I'll see if I can like rapid fire answer them, and then I'm going to sign off and work on Rider Potential Saber before I have to work on the Revice review when the episode 1 drops. So if you would like to see either of those before they come out, be sure to become a patron or just subscribe. They did not do Falchion at retail. Falchion is only a premium Bandai release. He was not a retail release. He was premium Bandai, which I'm happy for, because that means I didn't have to buy it, because it's premium Bandai. Only retail. Oh yeah, the hand that got Falchion swords looks like a kid's hand. It was small. Yeah, I've seen people say Sora could be the new Falchion. That would be really interesting. I would prefer if maybe they kept Sora for like his own V-Cinema, and he became like a new swordsman, and they did something like New Deno, where they had a movie about New Deno doing New Deno things, and they did something like that with Sora as like new, I guess not new Buster, because I don't know why they do that. I mean, maybe new Buster, and they give him just a new book, because they can't sell a whole, yeah, would they sell a whole new sword included with a with a DVD? I don't know. Do Humi Gears and Saber mean anything? It means that Toei is trying to make continuity work again, and it's not going to work. I hate to break it to you, Toei. I know you're not watching this, but nope, that's not happening. That's not going to work. But it's fine. We can pretend. It's I'm open to pretend. I like pretending. Speaking of Rider Potential, how's Kabuto's? Okay, it said how Kabuto's. Oh, I thought it said ponytail, but it says potential. I haven't started. I finished Kabuto, but I just haven't started working on Rider Potential Kabuto. As in, I haven't written anything down. I'm starting to think of ideas, but I haven't written anything down. A new sword could be a post... Oh, that's true. If they did a premium Bandai sword, that would work. That would make sense. they wouldn't include it with the DVD, but they could definitely include it as like a separate premium Bandai thing. It's a good point. Didn't think about that. Is Aruto still in space? Aruto is still in space. Aruto's gonna come back and be like, "What the hell did you guys do while I was gone in space?" So sad. Poor Aruto. How is this live still going? It's not. I'm ending it right now. So, thank you for coming out to the live stream, everybody. It's been fun. As always, check out the latest new videos. Look forward to the new videos. And I hope to see you next time. Nununu.